Hey there guys, so right now this girl got a new Chucky doll and we're reacting to creepy kids on TikTok. And look, you see, that's so cool. Whoa. I wish I had that. No. I seen that Chucky thing from Inquisitor Master channel though, where Jax is opening up his gift and he got that. Yeah, it was pretty funny though, the video that I seen.
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A father and his 5-year-old daughter sat together drawing animals. While drawing, the little girl said aloud, "Papa, if I was an animal, I'd be a teeny tiny spider." Her dad, intrigued, looked up from his drawing and replied,
"A spider?
Cool.
No, I hate spiders. I'm terrified
so
of it."
Crawl in your ear while you're asleep and lay eggs in your brain. One late evening while reading a bedtime story, a father was startled by his 4-year-old son's question. "Why does the woman in the corner always disappear when you look at her?" The father, thinking that the 4-year-old was referring to some character in the story, chuckles and says, "Wait, in the story, who are you talking about?" But the boy, his eyes now wide and serious, points to a dark corner of the room, insisting, "No, the woman who's always over there in the corner." A chill ran down the father's spine as he reluctantly followed his son's gaze to the dark corner, only to find nothing but shadows. "There's nothing over there," he reassured his son and himself. But the boy replied firmly, "Well, yeah, she disappears when you look at her." The 6-year-old girl was playing alone with dolls in her room while her mother completed chores in the house. Abruptly, though, the mother hears her little girl start absolutely screaming from the other room. Springing into action, her mother dashed into the room, alarmed and concerned. The little girl was on the floor in the middle of her room, clutching her ears tightly, her small body rocking back and forth as she continued to scream. Her mother, then trying to soothe her, asked, "Sweetheart, please tell me what's happening." Through her continued screams, the little girl managed to yell in a panicked cry, "If I scream out loud, it makes the screams in my head quieter." The babysitter was sitting with the toddler in a backyard sandbox, fully engaged in their playful digging, when she noticed the 7-year-old brother standing quietly by a tree nearby. Her eyes followed him as he methodically plucked leaves from the tree, each movement deliberate and focused. Then he suddenly turned towards the babysitter with a chillingly cheerful smirk and said, "The trees cry when I pull their leaves. I like it." A sense of discomfort hit the babysitter, her smile fading as she tried to make sense of his disturbing comment. The boy, unbothered by her reaction, started to crush and crumble the leaves in his hand, his gaze intensely fixed on the fragments falling through his fingers. During a calm morning, a 4-year-old boy sat quietly staring at his assorted group of toys. Suddenly, he broke the silence. Looking up at his parents, his blue eyes wide with a mix of fear and innocence, said, "When I'm in bed, I hear my toys talking." "What do you mean they talk to you at night, sweetheart?" his mother asked softly, kneeling down to be at eye level with the boy. The boy, clutching a stuffed bear a little tighter to his chest, replied hesitantly, "They say scary things when it's dark. They say they want to wear my skin so that they can look like me." During a family dinner at his aunt and uncle's house, an 8-year-old boy revealed with a troubled expression, "When I'm alone, I hear someone breathing right next to me, but no one's there." His aunt paused, her fork mid-air, and asked gently, "What do you mean, dear?" The boy looked down at his plate and repeated, "I mean, when I'm in my room, there's this breathing sound right beside me, even though I can't see anyone there." His aunt leaned in and asked, "Have you told your parents about this?" The boy shook his head, his voice small as he replied, "Mom says it's just my imagination, and Dad tells me just to shut up about it." In a preschool's play area, a distressed 4-year-old boy was forcefully tearing off the arms and legs of action figures, and even trying to bite off their heads. As the teachers noticed and moved in to gently intervene, looking up at them, he said with a scared, quivering voice, "I'm breaking them and biting them, but they won't bleed." In a small country home, the 5-year-old boy had taken a recent interest in wearing dresses and adorning himself with sparkling jewelry. One evening, as the boy twirled around the living room in a flowing pink dress, his mother noticed the joy in his eyes and said, "You look very happy in that dress, honey." The boy stopped twirling and looked at his reflection in the mirror. "Yes, Mommy, the shadow man in the mirror will be happy with this dress." Confused by his remark, his father chirped in, "Who's the man in the mirror, buddy?" The boy then pointed to the mirror and said, "He's there. He tells me he likes it when I wear dresses."
Let's talk about some of the scariest things kids have ever said. A mom walks in the bathroom to find her 4-year-old daughter playing with her Barbies in the bathtub.
Oh, no,
She's got
no,
all her Barbies
no.
face down, and the mom asks, "Why are you doing this?" And she says, "The man in the wardrobe told me if I didn't do it, it would be my turn to swim face down." A dad and his 3-year-old were driving past the cemetery when the 3-year-old says, "Who are all those people standing there?" The dad looks over, he sees no one.
They
A
shouldn't have
4-year-old
to
looks
that.
to his mom and says, "You should go see Grandpa at the hospital because his head really hurts after the car crash." Mom looks at him and says, "Grandpa's fine. He doesn't even drive anyways." 15 minutes later, the phone rings. It's Grandpa saying Grandpa's in the hospital after his taxi got in a crash. A mom was subbing at her kid's 100-year-old Catholic school, and on recess, she says one of the girls kicked a kickball down the
I hate
steps,
this.
and she starts
I
yelling,
hate it.
"Throw it up to
Imagine
me." The
if
mom
this
goes over
was
and
in my
says, "Who are you
room,
talking to?" The
staring
little
at
girl
me
says,
while
"The big man
asleep.
down there." The mom goes down the steps. No one's
Nope.
there. She then goes
I
on
am
to
not.
ask the other kids if they've seen the man before. They say yes, but sister told us not to talk to him. A mom wakes up in the middle of the night to her 3-year-old screaming hysterically over the mean old woman scaring him. Trying to just ease and soothe his nerves, she says, "That old lady better watch out or she'll have to deal with me." The 3-year-old stops crying, looks the mom dead in the face, and says, "She's not afraid of you, Mommy."
Scary Things Kids Say Part 61. My 4-year-old daughter stood at my bed in the middle of the night. I jumped as it looked like a little black girl with afro hair. My daughter is white with blonde hair. I jumped up and she said, "Mommy, I don't feel like me." When my son was 3 years old, he stood by my bed and said, "Mommy, I know how I died." Then he did a slicing motion across his
I'm not
neck, and
having
it didn't faze him. Mind you, he was
a
3.
child.
All we ever
Never.
watched was G-rated
In my
shows.
life.
When my 7-year-old heard him, she said, "I know that. I was his nurse and tried to help him." She later filled in more information and led me to believe she was talking about the American Civil War. To this day, it still blows my mind. My son was about 6 and his step-grandma had died. After that, he would not sleep in his room and go in there alone. I had asked him why he wouldn't sleep in his room anymore. He said because Grandma Deb is in there. Alrighty then, the door remains shut to this day. That's scary.
Creepiest things kids have ever said. This person was tucking their daughter into bed and she said, "Go enjoy your night. You do not have a lot of time left." This person's son said, "This is funny. Last time we were here, you were the child and I was the parent." This person was 2 years old and playing with her toys when she looked up at her grandma and said, "Papa is mad at you because you won't go visit him at his grave. He died before I was born." What?
I
This
hate
person's
this.
3-year-old was staring into a bonfire and said, "God's coming." My kid had an imaginary friend and I asked if she took the friend to nursery, and she goes, "She stays here with you." My daughter was 2 in her car seat when I was driving, and she goes, "Mommy, who's that man?" I go, "What man?" while looking in the rearview mirror. She replied, "That man," as she was pointing to the empty seat next to her. No thank you. Follow for more of the...
I was looking through my middle child's old coloring books and found this one to be a little unnerving. Why are all the eyes
every
blacked
kid
out?
doing this? Like, why do we have to do this when we were young?
What does
What?
the N stand for? Is it M4? Mom!
Oh no. Girl, you better run.
This creepy footage was posted on social media. Watch the kid in the mirror.
Bi, ambil anak Bi. Bi, ambil anak. Bi, cepat, ambil. Ambil.
The child's reflection freezes for a moment and his eyes turn black, before returning to normal. Is this just an elaborate prank, or footage of some kind of demon child?
My daughter has informed me that there is a person in her closet that keeps smiling at her. Let's go see.
Open it. That's a person.
There's a person?
Yeah.
Can you show me where the person is? Is it Elsa?
No. No.
No?
I'm scared.
You're scared?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show me where the person is? Is it a kid person or a grown-up person? It's a grown-up person. You want to wear your Elmo costume?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a grown-up person in your closet?
Yeah.
And it's right there?
Yeah. It's my closet.
It's your closet. Say, go away, person.
I'm scared.
You're scared?
Yeah. I'm a person.
Okay, well, we'll get rid of the person.
Okay, what did I miss?
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A woman drove past a cemetery
Leave a
with her
comment on
3-year-old
what
daughter
I
in the back
missed.
seat every day. The 3-year-old kept telling her mom that people in the cemetery were waving at her. This went on for a while
That's
until
creepy.
the woman
Nope.
stopped driving past the cemetery forever when the daughter said that a lady wanted her to come in. A family moved into a new furnished apartment with an unsettling painting in the bedroom that kind of looked like hair free-flowing in the air.
Not
The
having
2-year-old
that in my
son was
room.
being settled in for his daily nap until suddenly he said he didn't want to sleep in that room. When mom asked why, he said, "This painting looks at me and tries to talk to me, and I don't like it." A 4-year-old girl spent every day with her great-grandmother, and every day she'd go home, she'd say, "God be with you." One time when she was leaving, she said, "Go with God." Her mother tried to correct her, but she said it again. That night, the great-grandmother passed away. Follow for more of the creepiest things kids have ever said. A woman's 3-year-old son was softly singing while he was coloring. She had never heard the song before, so she asked him where he learned it. He said, "The lady in my bedroom sang it to me." A grandma was babysitting her granddaughter while mom was at a doctor's appointment when she randomly said, "Oh no, Grandma, Mama's not coming anymore today. She was in a bad accident." The mother had been in a very bad accident that almost killed her, but the family had not been notified yet. A woman was sound asleep when she was awoken by her 4-year-old in the middle of the night. She looked right into her eyes and whispered, "I want to peel all your skin off." Fortunately, mom had been sunburned that week and her skin was peeling, but still absolutely terrifying. Follow for more of the...
Mommy, what does the tooth fairy do with the teeth?
You know, I haven't really thought about
I
that.
seen all these guys.
Why don't you write a note and ask her?
Like, seriously, why would you have to do that? That's why I seen all these. Look. It's so disgusting. But it's fake.
Kids' drawings in real life.
Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run.
Rowan, have you ever seen your dolls move before?
No.
Never?
No.
You ever get scared of your dolls? Do you love your dolls?
Yes.
What would you be most scared of to move at nighttime?
I would say
Annabelle, big Annabelle, or little Annabelle?
big. The small Annabelle is not that big.
Let me see.
Here are the creepiest things kids have ever said. And before I tell you these, I feel like I'm obliged to say, I'm so sorry. First up, we've got Monster Under the Bed. One night, a young girl couldn't sleep because apparently there was something under her bed. And when her parents came into the room to say go back to sleep because there's nothing under her bed, she replied with, I know. He's behind you now. Like, I'm sorry. What? Next up, a 4-year-old girl was found in the bathroom by her mum with all of her Barbies. But she was making them float face down in the bath. When the mum asked what she was doing, she replied with, "The man in the wardrobe told me if I didn't do it, it would be my turn to swim face down." Next up, a 3-year-old boy was softly singing in a room while colouring in a picture. His mum actually stopped to listen because she'd never heard the song before. When she asked where he learnt it, he said the lady in my bedroom sang it to me. And finally, a 5-year-old asked his mum when he was going to be 23. His mum said in 18 years' time, and he replied with, "Well, I hope I don't die again, as that was how old I was the last time I went to heaven." Tell me which story made you go, "What the f*** the most?" And share this with a friend to just creep him out because you're a good person. Now everyone with me. Elon!
Where's your favorite place to go? What do you see?
I see stuff in a hand hat. I see stuff in a hand hat. In a tiny.
You see what?
A bad thing.
A bad thing?
A bad thing.
What does it look like?
A ghost.
A ghost?
There is one.
No, there's no ghosts. No ghosts here. Ghosts be gone.
I want to see a hand here.
Who are you saying goodnight to?
Him. Good night.
Who?
Him. Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Him up there.
Show me.
Him up there. Him up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now. Creeped out.
Scary Things Kids Say Part 51. My 4-year-old niece once asked me, "Do you know why babies can't talk?" I answered, "Because they haven't learned yet." She said, "No, because they still know too much." Like, what? One night, I heard my little sister crying in her sleep. She was 5 at the time. When I walked in and sat on her bed, she immediately stopped crying, sat in her bed, opened her eyes, and screamed, then fell back on her bed and slept. She remembers nothing. I was on the bus recently and we stopped outside a walking clinic. A little girl in the seat in front of me turned to her dad and said, "Death is the poor man's doctor." And that was that.
And I'm getting really bored.
Creepiest things kids have ever said. A woman drove past the cemetery with her 3-year-old.
Because every time I keep messing up.
Every day. 3-year-old would tell her mom that people in there were waving at her. This would go on for a while until they decided to stop driving past the cemetery forever. Just because the daughter mentioned that there was an old lady wanting her to come in there. An aunt asked her niece to draw her imaginary friend for her. And this is what she drew. A humanoid figure with about 10 legs and their head detached. A little girl was playing in the McDonald's playhouse by herself and alone. The mother took this picture of her in the tunnel. To their surprise, in the photo, they saw another child. But mind you, she was playing in there alone. When they asked their daughter who it was, she said, "That's my imaginary friend, Beto." A little boy told his dad he had an imaginary friend. He called him the Hanging Man and said he would visit him in his room every night. And even drew a picture of him for his dad. So the dad hid a camera in the child's room to see what he was talking about and caught this. Check this out.
Hey Eliza, do you remember the day you were born?
No, but I remember the earth would open and I crawled out of hell.
Do they have a return policy on children? Because I think she needs one. Speaking of birth, there is a 1 in 365 chance of you meeting someone with your exact birthday. Put your birthday down below to see if you can find your twin. Make sure to hit that follow button because part 2 is crazy.
I used to do weird stuff to my mom though. When I was a creepy kid. Yeah, I used a toy cockroach to like scare her. And that's pretty it.
What's happening? Who are you trying to find?
A ghost.
A ghost?
Yeah, a ghost.
But weren't you just trying to find Reagan?
Yeah.
Where do you think she is?
Reagan is the ghost.
Reagan is the ghost?
Yeah, Reagan is the ghost.
Well, what's a ghost's face look like? What are we doing? What does that mean?
I hear that ghost.
You hear that ghost?
Yeah. And then that ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I'll be right there, Reagan.
Who are you saying goodnight to? Who?
Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Up there.
Show me.
Up there. Up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now.
When your daughter loves the same
Oh, that's
creepy
not
stuff as
creepy.
you.
That's not creepy. It's cute. It's friendly. Look, you see, she's being nice.